Welcome back to the Two Peas in the podcast. How are you? I hope that you're good. Hope that you're taking care of yourself as ever. We are here for another fantastic episode to hopefully make you smile, make you think, just something to brighten your day. For those that don't know us, hi, my name is Katie and I'm based here in the UK, and my ever glamorous, gorgeous podcast host is the gorgeous...
Hi, I'm Jessica over here in America.
Looking fabulous. I'm loving the t-shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little crabby sometimes.
It's a little crabby today. That's fine, right? We're rocking with it. We're vibing. And this isn't an episode where we're talking about something specific. We're just it's one of those catch up, having a chat kind of episodes. So make yourself a nice cuppa or whatever your poison is. Sit back and just listen to us yabber on for a bit, and hopefully we'll make you smile, right?
Yep.
So, obviously, time recording. Yep. Happy Thanksgiving. I was yesterday. How was it?
It was good. Thanksgiving is it's just a strange holiday, but I really do enjoy it. I know you're wanting to give your take on Thanksgiving as a person across the big pond, so.
Well, look, I was thinking about it this morning because I knew I wanted to talk about this today. And the only thing I can liken it to, in terms of how strange it is that it's still celebrated, is that we do bonfire night here in the UK. And bonfire night, November 5th, is because a group of people tried to blow up the government and were not successful.
Yeah.
And we still celebrate that every year with fireworks and bonfires. And if you talk about why you celebrate something, it's kind of weird, right? And you can kind of go, oh, well, now it's about this and now it's... Yeah, okay, fine. But the actual original meaning, kind of weird. And knowing Thanksgiving, what I do, it's kind of weird, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's funny because yesterday I do daily shorts every day on my YouTube. And I had this woman and she's like, there's nothing to be thankful for. I'm like, whoa. I get it if you don't celebrate the holiday, but there is a lot to be thankful for in life. At least that's how I feel. But anyways, she's like, this is not a holiday that should be celebrated. Indians were killed. And she said Indians, which I thought was funny. And she's like, and I'm like, okay, look. I get that. I mean, I do. I'm almost pretty much half Native American, so I completely understand that. However, for me, like you said, holidays transform into something else. It's one of the only happy memories I have in my freaking fucked up childhood, because could you sit in the corner and just let me enjoy my holiday and let me enjoy my memories and spend time with my family, right? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I get it, but at the same time, take every opportunity you can to just enjoy time with your family and just have a good time. I mean, the same could be said about Christmas. Christmas is originally to celebrate the birth of Jesus. But it's about...
I can also argue that Thanksgiving and Christmas are too close together.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, I mean, for sure. And then whole Black Friday, which we talked about that. Now, that's a freaking holiday you should start bitching about. You know what I mean? Leave Thanksgiving alone, okay? Really put your energy on Black Friday. That is a holiday that we should all protest in the streets about, in my personal opinion. It's just nothing but greedy consumerism.
I know, it is, and we talked about this privately, but we said, one day, be thankful for what you have, be thankful for your loved ones. What are you thankful for? Next day, go and spend money and buy shit.
But it's also it's a double-edged sword, as we talked about too, because it's yeah, that's what it is, but at the same time, we like those deals. We need those deals, and it was funny too, because you were saying how you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving over there, but yet you still celebrate Black Friday.
Yeah, companies still do Black Friday here. That's been the last, I want to say, definitely less than 10 years. I'd say probably about 5-6 years. It's become a real thing. And like you guys, it was a one-day thing. Now it's a whole freaking week. So it's not Black Friday, it's Black Friday week. And but it is weird because like I say, we don't do Thanksgiving here. So it's just it's dropped on us. Just,
Yeah. And I think I think there is a little bit of envy there, because it's why should Americans get all these great deals and we don't? Why? Because they celebrate, again, a horrible holiday, right? That has horrible roots. But then at the same time, it's consumerism. Yeah. All companies around the world want to get in on that. Plus, how do you really I don't know, I'm sure there's some kind of technology that can show where somebody buys a deal from to prove they're in America, because all these companies around the world do the Black Friday. So I don't know, but I, to be honest with you, more look forward to Cyber Monday I mean, it's still shopping, it's still consumerism,
Yeah.
but at least I don't have to go out and be around people. You know, that's the plus, right? I don't have to go be around anybody. I can sit in my PJs at my computer and get deals and not have to, get uppercut by an old lady that wants a PlayStation. Like, I'm so serious. Like, people have been injured.
I know. And not just in the States. Here, too. When it first started, people were literally beating each other up over, like, TVs and stuff. It's insane.
It is insane. It's like, I don't know. Girl, anyways.
Anyway.
My Thanksgiving was good. And with my family, it can be very touch and go, as with any family. Sure. Sometimes there's drama. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's underhanded comments, and it's like, oh, my gosh. But this Thanksgiving was actually one of the best Thanksgivings that we've ever had. It was, I don't know, it was just really positive, really good. All the food was good. Everybody was on their best behavior, even my brother. It was just amazing. So, yeah.
And I know you do the whole turkey thing. Your green bean casserole, I think, is something I'm going to have to try when we finally get to, like, come together in the room. Because, yeah, I know it's a big thing of the dinner, right?
Yeah, and it's not for everybody. Like, some people don't like it. Like, some people think it's a soggy mess. I can understand that. Excuse my voice, guys, because for some reason my voice is all messed up. But then again, I did do a lot of talking and laughing yesterday. But I feel the same way about stuffing. Like, I cannot stand soggy bread. That's why I don't like bread pudding. If I go, like, to a sub shop and get a sandwich, I'll have them keep all the mustard or whatever off of it. I'll put it on myself because it gets too soggy. Like, I can't stand that. Ugh, that taste of soggy bread. But yeah, the green bean casserole is something that everybody really loves. It's one of my favorite dishes. And yeah, I did the turkey. Last year was the first year I really had to do a turkey by myself. Because usually, even in my adulthood, when I was moved out, like, we would always go to my parents. Sure. My mom was always doing the turkey. Sure. Passed away. And then the Thanksgiving after that, I still went with my sister and my dad. And so we did a turkey together. So last year was the first time I really did it by myself. And not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at making a turkey. So I was really impressed with it. And everybody liked it. And it was good. Made the pumpkin pie, which was delicious. Yeah, it was just a really good time.
Good. I'm happy for you. I really am. Did you do the whole thing of, like, what are you thankful for around the table? Or is that just in TV?
No, we didn't.
Is that just TV and movie land?
My sister did a prayer, like, she said a prayer and it was nice. But no, I think that we all just kind of were, like, just thankful that nobody was fighting and everybody was happy. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing that you didn't need to harp on it. Let's just enjoy the moment, So it was good. It was fine. And it made me really motivated to do Christmas with them, Like, I was like...
Yes. I suppose it is like the warm-up, right? So it's like the stretching before the big event. You can go, like, if Thanksgiving's good, Christmas is likely to be good as well. So
yeah. We're going to do Christmas at my dad's, so that'll be nice. And it'll be less of a thing for me to worry about because when you host, obviously... you have to cook and clean and prepare and buy everything and get everything set up. And so, I mean, obviously I'll help him. I'll bring stuff for Christmas and stuff. But yeah, it'll be nice to kind of have some of that pressure off of my shoulders for Christmas.
Good. Bless you. I will say that I'm very thankful for our friendship, but that's kind of the schmaltzy side of me. So there you go.
Well, I'm thankful for it too. But we express that gratitude all the time to each other.
Of course we do. But yeah, it's just, what else am I grateful for? I'm grateful. I was thinking about this probably because of Thanksgiving. And I was funny enough, I just had a chat with a friend of mine and we were talking about gratitude. And I said, it's really easy to be grateful for the good stuff. That's the easiest thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
I think what's harder, but actually more powerful, is to be grateful for the bad stuff. Right? So she was going through a whole friendship thing and it was a big tower moment for her. And I was saying, can you find the gratitude for it? Can you be grateful for her? I said, and then maybe that's something to sit with and think about is how can you flip it? How can you be grateful in the darkness? Even if you're grateful, it's showing you who you are now and who you don't want to be. That's still a place of gratitude.
Yeah, I think that it is. And it's hard, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I know these things probably sound cliche to people like listening and stuff, and it's hard when you're in the moment to like find the gratitude, but it's okay to feel what you're feeling in that moment too. Like it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. But when you're doing your moment of reflection and you're really wanting to heal and move past, yes, finding the gratitude, finding the lesson as, we talk about all the time. And then one of the things that I talk about all the time too is like, looking at people as teachers, regardless of how they taught you. They're teaching you something. And that value that you're putting on that experience takes away the bitterness and the pain. And it doesn't take it all away, and it's hard, but it helps.
Yeah. It definitely helps. Like I say, we're not here with trying to bypass anyone's stuff or anything like that. It just, I know from my own space and stuff I've gone through, it is a part of the healing process. That's all. So and I think I don't know, I think it changes the nature of gratitude. I think it changes your connection to that space.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. And I think that being grateful is not, it's funny because I had read something like, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, that being grateful is not just about being thankful for what you have. It's an embodiment of an attitude of, I have everything I need. Mm-hmm. Right? So sometimes, we can get focused on, well, yeah, I have a car, but I wish it was a better car or a different car. But being grateful for the fact that you just have a car because you have what you need. Yeah. It's like that expands that gratitude. So yeah, I don't know. It's just nice. And that is exactly why Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. That right there. I mean, it's so sweet, right? When you take away all the slaughter and the massacres and the famine and everything, that's really unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. But it's like, it's sweet. It's a sweet holiday. We've taken the power back here in this situation. So
it's just the way you said it. Well, you just you move past all the slaughter and the bloodshed. It's sweet, right?
I mean, history is crappy all over the world, not just here, everywhere. History is crappy. I mean,
I'm British. You haven't gonna tell me?
I mean, you guys have a crazy history too. So it's just kind of at some point you just have to kind of live in the now and accept what's happened.
Sure.
Try to do your best not to go back to that.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, I'm glad it was good for you. I'm glad that you guys had a good time. How's Milo doing? Because I know that he's been a week of it as well.
Yeah, he had his surgery. He's had surgery before on his teeth. He's had teeth taken out before in the back. Because this kid just has extra teeth. I don't know what's going on with him. But anyways, he has a really large gap. Literally, it's 2 fingers. Okay? And it's because he has extra teeth growing in. And so the extra teeth won't allow his 2 front teeth to close properly. So they're like, if we can get the surgery done, they'll start to naturally come together. And also he can get, braces in the future. And that would also help adjust his height and everything. So I was really, I wasn't nervous about it, but I was a little bit more apprehensive because I've had teeth pulled before. So I know how it feels, but this is different. They were cutting up into his gum and taking out teeth from the inside, so I'm just this feels like it's more extensive. You asked,
I know, but I'm I can't help the way I am.
You're already starting with me and you're the one that asked. We could have really saved this for last,
Fine. It's fine. If you guys don't know, I am really squeamish. I'm fine. I get body shivers, but it's fine. Go on.
She is so squeamish. Anyways, so yeah. So I was nervous about that. But the hospital, the people at the surgery center, they were so good with children. It's, usually medical professionals and people will have a nice repertoire with children. Usually. Not all, obviously. But these ones, you could tell it was a sheer delight to be able to work on a child, because I'm sure that they work on mostly adults. So they went above and beyond for Milo, was asking all kinds of questions and everything. And he just was really comfortable and it was really nice. And his surgery went well. He came out. Of course, he was all, doped up and everything. He was in the wheelchair, just drooling.
I've seen so many videos of people who, after anesthetic, and the way they behave and the things they say, because they're so just completely spaced out.
Oh my God. When I went and had my wisdom teeth removed, I was with Milo's dad at the time. And he had pulled the car around to pick me up and everything. And the nurse, who was a female, by the way, she helped me get into the car and everything. And she's like, okay, well, this is where I leave you. And I was like, oh, hope my thing doesn't fall. Okay. She was like, well, this is where I leave you. And I was like, but I love you. I was I'm supposed to be with you. I'm supposed to be with you. I don't want you to leave.
Oh, how funny.
She's like, I love you too. Put your leg in, right?
they must hear so many I suppose nothing really shocks them anymore, right?
I'm sure. No, I'm sure she was like, yep, this is just, a day at the job. But yeah, he didn't say anything crazy or anything like that. He just slept the whole ride home. It was like an hour trip. Yeah. And he was okay. They gave him some pain medicine, which was nice because I wasn't sure. Nobody explained that to me, but they did prescribe him some. And yeah, we just started his aftercare, which took about like 4 days. When I tell you, like the second and the third day, this kid's face was swollen. I was like, Milo, you look like an extra off of Whoville. Because you know how like the Whovilles in the Grinch story, they got that like lip, that upper lip.
Oh, this poor kid.
He didn't understand what the heck I was talking about, but I was just like, he looked so funny. But I just, kept putting like cold compress on his mouth, and that was helping him. And fed him scrambled eggs the first day after because he couldn't really eat, anything hard. And yeah, he healed up fine, and he's back to normal now, and he's cool. It was interesting because like the third day of his recovery and his healing, he started to get back to normal. So he was like, la, 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 talking constantly because he's a talker just like me. He does not stop. And then he also does like things like where he'll get up and he'll dance around the house and do stuff. And he was right back to normal. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize how much I was enjoying that silence for a second. He's just like back. And I'm just like, oh God, here we go. Right. Because he's been off of school this whole week. Thank God it's Friday. He's going to his dad's tonight, and
I will say that Jess does love her son, by the way. It's not. I just you're like he won't stop talking. He's like.
Most people who have kids completely relate to what I'm saying. I think it's the people who don't have kids that don't understand having somebody with you literally 24/7 that you're caring for all their needs. You never get a chance. You never get a break. I mean, at some points in my life, I couldn't even go to the bathroom alone without this kid just barging through the door.
That's a boy thing. Alfie, who's one of my twins, for those who don't know, he would sit outside the bathroom door and he'd go, what are you doing? And I go, I'm on the toilet. And he'd go, okay. And he'd go silent. And I'd open the door and he'd just be sat on the floor going, hi. Like, I know that you love me, but can I have some space? I always say to the kids, and again, as you're a parent, you'll get this, how can I miss you if you don't go away?
Listen, it's funny because I see so much of myself in my son. Like for a while there, I could not get him out of my bed. Like he wanted to sleep in there every single night. And I'm just like, it wouldn't be so bad because I have a queen size bed. So my bed's pretty large, but he has to be like right on top of me. And he weighs like 3 times more when he's asleep for some reason. Like, so I cannot get him off of me, and he burns really hot. I get hot when I sleep. That's why I have a fan on every single night. This kid on top of me, super hot. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it made me think about how like his dad would tell me that all the time. Like, Jessica, I need my space in the bed. You're right on top of me. You're like literally laying on top of me.
See, karma. Now you've got Mallow doing it to you.
I am definitely a cuddler, but I'm like, as I've been on my own for a while now, I really do actually enjoy my space. I like to be able to spread out, I like to be able to turn and shift. Plus, I have neck issues, jaw issues. If I don't sleep a certain way, the next day is like I'm in pain.
Have you seen those
cuddle? I'm just gonna say this really fast. We're old. Yeah. Okay. So, like, for people who are listening right now, like you're talking about your neck and your back, yes.
She's good. She's good. She's slightly kind of broken, but she's good. We're good. We're here, and that's what counts, right?
I'm so exhausted from yesterday. I'm like delirious. I literally woke up like 45 minutes ago. So
that's how dedicated she is to this podcast, guys. We should be grateful. See, that's what we're thankful for, that you're here.
I'm thankful for coffee. I'm over here like,
I was gonna say, when you're younger, and especially you still see it in like TV shows and movies and stuff, and couples that cuddle together, or like and it's all. The spooning, right? The spooning. So the woman typically is the little spoon, right? She's the one that's being cuddled and the guy is the cuddler. And I feel for guys because having done it the opposite way around, this arm's fine. So say there's somebody here, this arm, fine. What do you do with this arm? Because apparently now there are pillows where they've made a hole so you can put your arm through it, because this arm goes to sleep.
Yeah. And see, I'm not complicated like that. I don't mind being the big spoon or the small spoon as long as I'm a spoon. You know, I just I just want to be invited to the cuddle party. It don't matter. Like, and
That's your bio. I don't mind being the little spoon, big spoon, as long as I'm a spoon. That's you right there.
and I honestly, like, I will lock somebody in as the big spoon, like around the neck, and then like put the leg over and lock that in place. Like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Like a little, hold them just like a little teddy bear, like a security blanket. Listen, I don't know what to say. I have no excuses for myself. I'm like, physical touch is definitely one of my love languages. I have several love languages, but that's definitely one. When I like somebody, when I'm with somebody, I can't keep my freaking hands off of them.
All I've got is that, this is an age thing, I'm sure. All I've got is that Bugs Bunny cartoon where there's like this monster going, he is my, I call him George, and he is my pet, and I will love him, and hug him, and squeeze him.
Have you ever seen that movie Tommy Boy?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that. But there's this scene where he's talking about how he gets a new puppy, and he loves his puppy, and he pets his puppy, and he cuddles his puppy, and then he clears his puppy, and then he rips his puppy apart, and it's like, that's kind of how I...
Well, that thing of like, do you ever love something so much that you want to squish it? I mean, no.
Like, I don't know, guys. Anyways.
Anyway, and there's a whole psychotherapist episode on Jess and her loving of squishing things, right?
Hey, I'm down for free therapy if anybody wants to give it.
Oh,
I don't really.
Anyways, moving on. So yeah, I'm glad that Milo is good. Basically, I know that it was a whole week of stuff, but I mean, it reminds me, Izzy my other twin, had heart surgery when she was like, what? Before she was 2, and she had a hole in her heart. And like literally the next day in the hospital, she was running around and bouncing and giggling. And it's like, children are the most resilient things in the entire universe.
Yeah.
They heal so fast compared to adults. Because that was me, girl, I'd be laid out for at least 2 weeks. Forget about it.
For sure. Like, you know, like I need a recovery day the day after Thanksgiving. Like I'm exhausted, you know? So I'm like, I can only imagine like surgeries and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but kids, you know, hey, that's why they say youth is wasted on the young.
But so yeah, you've had all that. For me, as you know, it's been quite a powerful week in a way that I didn't expect to happen, right? So one of the things that I do, because those that don't know me, I am multi-passionate entrepreneur. I have so many strings to my bow at this point, it's ridiculous. I'm playing a harp. Like literally, it's insane. And one of the things that I do is I write for an online magazine, called The Relationship Magazine. And the lady who owns it is so sweet. She said, you know, I'm here, anybody wants to have a chat. And she messaged me going, should I book a call, just have a chat? And I'm like, yeah, because that's me all over. I'm like, yeah, cool, we can have a chat. I don't mind. Like, how am I talking? It's all good. And got on, and she was like, how are you? I was like, yeah, I'm all right. And of course, that question, which I do with my clients, but how are you really? Because I can feel your energy and I know the stuff's going on, right? And total transparency with her, with you guys, it's that time of year when you're in this industry, business slows down, right? It just does naturally. And every year, my old stories crop up of lack of mentality and fear of money and being a single parent. It's a whole thing. So I was sharing with her, and she was like, I'm going to give you coaching for free, right? I'm going to give you 4 coaching sessions, an hour each for free. And I'm like, of course, instantly was like, oh my God, are you sure? I can do this for you. I can do it. She's like, okay, just take them. You don't need to give me something in return, which is not my comfort zone, by the way, which I know that you know. I don't like this. I'm not good at receiving. I will give all day long, but like, I'm like, okay, if you're sure. Anyway, looking at my business, and I know that you already know this, Jess, but I also feel like you may resonate with this in a little way, is you don't realize how much you're hiding until somebody points it out.
Yeah.
Now, I know with you, and it's funny because I was, again, talking about this today, was that when I started my journey way back in 2010, 2011, I was known back then as the psychic mama. Then I pivoted to Little White Feathers, remember? Then I pivoted to the happiness lady, and it took me a long time just to stand in that thing of like, this is me. my business. People go, what's your business called? I'm like, it's my name. I don't hide behind anything anymore. I am who I am. So I thought I dealt with this. Then I realized that I was actually in quite a rut with my business. And certainly when it came to marketing and advertising the business, is that I was, that quote of like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's exactly what I was doing. And I couldn't see it. And maybe I could see it, but I didn't want to see it. I don't know. But it's really made me stop and kind of question who I am and what I want and how I want to do it. And it's been quite a big week in that regard, as you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's important because honestly, change is healthy. Growth is healthy. Evolving is healthy. And I think that maybe when you went from, the psychic mama to white feathers to the happiness lady, and then finally settled on just Katie, maybe you thought that was at some point the end of that evolution, like that was the final step and you've made it there. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like now seeing that there's still more growing to do, I think that's incredibly healthy. I also think that was very generous and sweet of that woman.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Recognizing that somebody needs assistance and stepping in is a really beautiful thing. So I'm happy that she was able to do that for you. I know she talked to you about your social media and posting. I don't know if you want to share any of that.
Yeah. So essentially, I am, people will see my Instagram. So just without blowing my own trumpet, because I'm British, but on Instagram, I have over 20,500 followers. And people will go, oh my God, how do you build your following? And I go, because I've shown up every freaking day. I don't miss a day. And I will post, I post on Christmas, birthdays. I post when I'm not well. I always show up. And I routinely will post, it used to be a lot more, but I still will post religiously at least 3 times every single day without fail. And she's like, it's great, Kate. And I see the effort you're putting in, but you're not talking about your business.
Right.
At all. You kind of do, you may do one post and it's like, hey, this is my book coaching. Hey, this is my coaching. But apart from that, it's like you're hiding behind, I don't mean this in a nasty way, but it's tokenism. So you're talking about female empowerment, you're talking about self-love, but there's no follow-up from it, right? So you're putting all these things out there, which is great for people to read and feel great about, but it's like, and then what, right? So I will do the empowerment post in the morning. I'll do my daily card. I'll tend to do another post mid-afternoon, and I might do then a business post about my actual business in the evening. And the reason I do that is because most of my followers are American. There's no point me posting it in the morning because you're not going to see it, you sleep. So, but I've got myself in a rut with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so if your business is not exactly popping off the way you want it to, it's like, well, I'm the one that's getting in the way. And that's not a comfortable place to sit because you don't ever like to think that you're the problem in life, right? It's so much easier to think that externals are the problem. Oh, well, it's the economy. Oh, well, it's cost of living crisis. Oh, it's near Christmas, blah, blah, blah. But there are people out there still making money. What's the difference between them and me? It's me. And that's not being hard on myself. That's just being realistic. So it's looking at trying to do it differently, trying to actually embrace the social media tools, but also standing in the space of this is who I am, this is what I offer, and this is why you should work with me.
Well, I want to sit there and correct you really quickly because I don't think it's you. I think that you're lovely.
Thanks.
I think that it's the approach, which is an extension of you. It's not you. Yeah. Because I think that, and I know because I've dealt with this so much, like with things that I've done. Like I have books, well, a book. I have decks, multiple decks, things that I never talk about on YouTube, but I have these things. And I think there's something deep down inside where I was just always like, well, I don't want to bother people with that.
That was the thing.
I don't want to push that on them, or there's a projection going out of like, well, I don't want people to think that I only care about money. Yeah. I only want to try to sell them something. Because you and I, we're caught in this weird space where it's like what we do, we actually do because we want to help people. We actually do it because we feel like it's a calling. It's not just about money. If it was just about money, it would be so fucking easy just to push things, right?
And also, we probably wouldn't be in the industry that we are because if it was just about money, we'd probably be in an easier way to make money industry.
Well, this is a very lucrative industry, actually. There is a lot of money out there to be made because people want something to believe in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And if you look at it from that devil's advocate angle, you can see there's money to be made here. The thing is like when you don't have that mindset, when your mindset is making money will be great. I need to pay my bills. I like eating more than just tuna fish sandwiches every day, right? But I also just want to help people. I want to heal people. I want to help people heal themselves. When that's your mindset, it's hard to kind of switch over to the, well, we need to start pushing the business. We need to start making money. We need to start doing that. It's hard because that's not where you're at. And then while it's very endearing, it also conflicts with the overall goal, which is to grow your business and to grow your revenue. So I understand completely why you've been where you're at, how you're where you're at. I get it. But I'm happy that you're at this point where you're seeing that you don't have to think of money as like, or think of like, you know, pushing your products, pushing your business and things like that as something that's bothering your collective. Yeah. They're your customer base. Like we talked about this, like 10% of the people that are on your Instagram, because that's an incredibly large following. You also have quite a few on Facebook. Yeah. So people who are there, 10% of these people know you in your personal life. Like 10% of those people are like your actual friends, family, things like that. The rest, potential customers. Yeah.
It's so true. He literally said, okay, how big is Facebook? How many people are on it? And I said, well, apparently if Facebook was a country, it'd be like the 10th biggest country in the world. I think there's like 1 billion people on Facebook. Yeah. She said, right, how many people do you think see your post? And I'm like, okay, like 0.0000001%. And she went, right, why do you think you're bothering people? Yeah. And she said, also, algorithm, right? So even if you're posting about your business, does everybody see it all the time? No. And I know this, it's funny, my mom, God love her, being 70 and engaging with technology, she's excuse me, better than she was. But she's still, it's not a comfort zone. So she'll go to me like, I saw this on Facebook, did you see it? No. Yeah. Or this was on my feed half an hour ago, where's it gone? And it's kind of going, the algorithm is giving you what you're engaging with, right? So what's happening with social media is that the people who engage with your posts on a regular are the people that see your posts on a regular. But that doesn't mean that nobody else is going to see it. It's just you've got to get clever about how you put yourself out there. And that's using the tools and the tricks that they give you to help you. So it is using things like the reels, the stories, the going live. It's all these things that, yes, it's out your comfort zone. But if you want to grow, you've got to go out the comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah. And work with the algorithm, because right now with what you're posting, you're catering to an audience that is not necessarily the audience that you really want to reach.
No, I mean, God love them. I am somebody who wants to help everybody. And I recognize that my client base, and anybody of my clients that see this, I'm not being disrespectful, I promise. But I have had people predominantly who money has not exactly been flowing for them. Right. Because it hasn't been flowing for me. But of course, if I want to grow my business and be more financially stable, then I need to attract clients who money is not such a massive issue in their life. So that means I have to talk to different people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really true, because like, honestly, money is not an issue for everybody, you know? Yeah. And when people who have been like, you know, grown up a little bit broke, or have always had to pinch pennies, or have spent their life struggling, trying to keep their head above water, we kind of almost assume everybody is. And so we know what it would feel like to have somebody push a $500 program on us. It's like, I don't have that. Why would you push that on me? So we don't want to then push that on other people, because we assume they don't have it either. But that's not always the case. Yeah. And you know, you can't, what I've been trying to do is look at it as like, it's kind of insulting to assume somebody else's money. Like, it's insulting to assume they're broke. It's insulting to assume they're rich. It's insulting to assume you know how much money somebody has. So with things like with my charging for, you know, any of my services, I use that mindset now of like, I don't know how much this person can afford. So I'm not going to assume. This is what I think it's worth. And if they can pay it, they can pay it. And if they can't, they can't. And it's hard to get into that black and white thinking, but.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but again, as you said to me the other day, look, it's enough right now to kind of sit with this. You're not going to change it in one day, which is a really good point to make. As I've said before on this, I had therapy last year. because I was in a weird funk. And my therapist was great. And one of the things she said to me that stayed with me is that, Kate, you have been thinking this way at this point for 42 years. Why do you think you're going to change it overnight? You can know it cognitively, you can know it consciously, you can understand the what, the how, the why, but behavior, that doesn't change in an instant. It changes through practice. And so the more that you show up and you practice and you try, the more it becomes a new version of you, the new normal. But give yourself grace and compassion in the space of practicing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because changing your mindset is like growing any muscle. Like I look at the brain as like it's a muscle, and it's the same as anything else. If you haven't worked out for like 10 years and then you go and you have a really hard day at the gym, oh, you are going to be sore, right? So cutting things up into baby pieces or not expecting to make all this progress at once is a really healthy way, but just acknowledging it, right? Acknowledging that you need to make the changes is a really powerful first step. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you had that realization, and I'm excited for 2026 to see what this all brings for you.
Thank you. I mean, I will say thank you that I'm not a huge expert on Chinese astrology. I kind of have a little bit of understanding of it. But I saw a TikTok that I share with fucking everybody because it's great. Apparently, 2025 has been the year of the snake. So it's all been about shedding, transformation, transmutation, letting go. It's all shadow work. 2026 is the fire horse. If we do the work of shedding this year, we can gallop off on our horse next year. It's like the chariot, right? It's like you can do all the stuff, the inner stuff, and then you're like, and we're off.
Yeah. And I think that the horse, is it's really positive, like it's a really positive animal for me anyways, because it talks about that freedom. It talks about, being able to have fast results, fast progress. It's, linked to work and to your foundational energy. So I'm really excited. I never really got into the Chinese astrology either. I know that I'm year of the tiger.
I'm the rooster. So
I don't know. I know that I probably am feisty and a little bit tigerish.
And I don't stop talking, so rooster, I get it,
Roosters are roosters can be really, really aggressive, which is funny because I don't find you to be that aggressive.
No, I mean, I have a temper, but it doesn't come out very often.
Not very often. I mean, that I see anyway. I'm obviously an ocean apart, so I don't get to see everything, but yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of my big thing of the week. But I know, aside from surgery for your son and Thanksgiving, you've also got another thing, girl, and you've got to talk about it because it's amazing. I'm so proud of you. The spotlight is yours. Share with the world. What are you doing? Come on.
Well, I'm writing another book.
Yay! It's awesome. My girl is low-key obsessed with writing this book, can I say?
I am at 45,000 words.
Wow. That's a big chunk of page.
Yeah, it's like half. I mean, a standard novel is probably around 70,000. Mine probably will be 75, 80,000. So, I'm like probably about halfway through at this point. Of course, when I go back and do hard edits, things will change, but that's where I'm at right now. So I'm writing a romance novel, which I don't have any shame about that. I think it's the sweetest thing ever because it really goes back to my roots. When I was younger, as we know, some of us know if you've been following this podcast, I was obsessed with romance novels growing up. Like to the point where the librarian warned me I was going to get brain rot over this if I kept reading these Harlequin romances and all of this stuff, but I was obsessed with them. I remember I used to sit under my blanket with a flashlight and just be like, I would literally go through like a book a week. That's how obsessed I was. I didn't want to go out and ride my bike and stuff. I wanted to stay in my room and I wanted to read. That was my whole thing. And I really lost that whole focus into my adulthood. Like I didn't ever lose my thing for reading because I love to read, but it shifted. It shifted into like nonfiction, spirituality, self-help, historical stuff like that. So I have so many books on just that, and then I don't know, a couple months ago, like I would say it's probably been like 3 months. Spirit has really been trying to like thaw my heart out for some reason. And I don't really understand why, but like I've been getting like a lot of just personal things that have been happening that have been making me focus more on like love, even though I don't technically have anybody in my life right now that I'm focused on in that way. It's like there have been things. And one of the things has been getting into the romance novels again. And I found myself reading these books and thinking, this could be better. No shade, no tea to any of the romance novel writers out there, right? Because I read some pretty good ones. But I'm like, it just feels like they lack depth that's needed to make it believable that these characters have really fallen in love. The writing, I feel like, could be better. There's just things that I was just like, this could be better. Because I know that, you know, I would send you messages and I'd be like, well, I'm like halfway through this book and I can't read it anymore.
Yeah.
Because this character, like, they're like totally like assassinating this character, or it's so unrealistic, or it's not relatable. It's pissing me off. And it's just like, you know, so you and I both have that concept in life of, if you want to read the perfect book, you should write it. And so that's what I've decided I'm doing, is I'm going to write what I feel is an amazing love story. And though your girl loves a vampire romance, because I do. I love that fantasy of that. I love like the whole like werewolf thing. I love like the princes and the princesses and the dukes and the lords and all that stuff. I wanted to write an extraordinary love story about ordinary people, two ordinary people, you know, and they're older. They are really relatable to just the everyday person who's in their 30s, in their 40s, that's single, who has been through shit. And it's a story that's based off of two people that are soulmates. And that's something that is important to me, because that's what I work with all the time. It's people who feel like they've found their soulmate. Yeah. And so there's synchronizing numbers, right? And there's dreams, and there's strange coincidences, and there's like feelings of feeling pulled in and not understanding why. Yeah. And then there's also, and I don't want to give too much of like the characters and stuff away, so I'm just giving like the plots, because I want to keep this close to my chest right now. But there's also triggers that come with soulmates. Because as we know, if it's a soulmate, they are going to trigger the freak out of you, right? They're going to bring out all of your worst fears, all of your insecurities, and ask you to either deal with it or walk away. And choice is really yours. And that, you know, nobody's ever fated to be with you. You have to choose to do the work. You have to choose to stay, right? You have to choose to work through your fears. So these two characters are massively triggered by each other in similar but different ways. You know, one is dealing with trust issues because, you know, she's been cheated on and she's been let down a lot. The other one, he's dealing with, I'm not good enough for her. Yeah. I, you know, have also an issue with people showing up one way, but then suddenly not being real. So that's his thing. And it's like these two trigger each other. And where the fantasy comes in, because I find that with love stories, like it has to be a little bit like, not unrealistic, but something that you strive for. Yeah, absolutely. Right? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to read a story about something that is like, well, that sounds like, you know, like it's something that is like, well, possible. Like you want to have something to hope for or something to believe in. So I wanted to write about conflict resolution in my love story, because I have a very strong belief that if people were vulnerable and could take accountability and could own up to their mistakes and know that they're not perfect, but nobody's expecting them to be, but just like taking accountability and communicating to each other and being honest, even though it's scary, even though it's hard, I feel like more people would work out in their relationships. So that's kind of where it's at for me, is like, yes, they're brought together and yes, they're triggered by each other in their own individual ways. But when the conflict arises, because it's going to at some point, it has to, right? Yeah. And that's not just in a book, that's in life. There has to be a conflict. They communicate with each other and they're honest with each other about their fears. And it shows you, I think it's a beautiful story, and it shows you how like things can go a different way. Things can be a different way, and you can feel safe being vulnerable with somebody, opening up to somebody and expressing yourself. So that is kind of where I'm at. And like I said, I don't want to tell too much of the plot and like, you know, the things and things like that, you know, but that is generally what the book is. Yeah.
And how are you finding actually writing it? I know, but for the sake of the audience, how are you finding writing it?
I thought that Danielle Steele had possessed me. And okay, like, but then I did a quick Google check and she's actually alive and well. So she obviously has not possessed me, right? It's maybe some other writer that I'm not aware of that does like romance novels or something. Because I just like, this is one of the first times in my life that I don't have massive imposter syndrome. Like, I feel so good writing it and everything flows out, you know? Yeah. And if it's not right, I go back and I change it and I move things around, but I feel so good with it. And it's funny because what you were talking about earlier with the whole Thanksgiving thing about looking for the gratitude in the negative.
Yeah.
This really caused me to have a realization that everything that I've gone through in relationships, like all the negative stuff, feeling rejected, being cheated on, you know, being scared, fucking it up myself, saying and doing things I shouldn't do, right? It's caused me to be able to understand that and put it on paper.
Yeah.
You know, because that's one of the things with like romance novels you read, they're having conflict, but you're not getting a look inside their mind.
Yeah.
Of why they're having this conflict, why they're reacting this way, what they're thinking, why they do the things that they do, stupid things. Right? Like we're going to see in this book, Kyle, the main guy character, he does something that's incredibly stupid, but he does it out of fear. And it's understanding those nuances and layers of why somebody does something stupid out of fear, knowing that they shouldn't do something like that.
Absolutely.
So the writing has been really good and it's just been like flowing out of me. My issue, as we know, and I'm going to be really vulnerable talking about this with you guys, is the sex stuff. I don't have a problem writing about sex. I'm actually hella gifted. You haven't gotten there yet, but you're going to be like, damn, girl.
I am proofreading it for her, and I'm only on I've read chapter 3 yesterday, so I'm going to start chapter 4. So I haven't gotten there yet, but I've got enough of a teaser from you to know that it's going to be spicy.
It is going to be spicy because I am a spicy individual. But it's not going to be erotica because that's not what this book is, but there will be some spicy scenes. My thing is the vulnerability and nakedness, no pun intended, that comes with putting this out into the world. And look at her. That's how I'm going to be. When we publish.
Do you want to talk about what I had to do like a chat GPT thing for you as what do we call a male member?
I'm like, because I was so like shy and embarrassed. And I'm like, I cannot put cock in my book. I cannot write the word cock, Katie. Even though I have said that word many times. I've said a lot worse in bed. But I'm just like, I cannot say, like, I can't put this, like, because I'm like literally in my back of my mind, I'm like imagining some of my collective from the YouTube reading this and being like, holy crap. Like,
well, like I said to you, you can't put Willy because that's what children call it. And it feels like it doesn't, Willy, and it's very British, but you know, to say, oh, you're Willy, it just, it didn't work.
Well, plus also, we have to remember, I mean, you guys don't know, but me and Katie, like, I'm switching back and forth between a male and then a female perspective. Okay. And men and women think differently. Mm-hmm. And so a man is not going to be thinking, my Willy. I'm so embarrassed, y'all. I'm so embarrassed. Like my, you know, a man is gonna be thinking like his cock, but I can't say the D word because I feel like it's just too vulgar. Just like I can't say the P word for a woman in the book, even though I might say that in real life in private, right? But I can't say that in the book because it just feels too vulgar. Like it feels like it degrades my masterpiece a little bit, and so it's like I'm not gonna do that. But I can't. I have to get over saying cock. Like it was a whole thing. I have to get over saying this. And so I did. And yeah. And so I just, you know, let basically the last 6 years of not being with a man and like all that pent up energy be released onto this book. And so it is intense. Like it is intense. And I'm like, that's my biggest thing though, is like the embarrassment of knowing like when we hit publish, okay, because I know that there's people already that want to buy this book and are just genuinely just curious about what this is going to be.
Yeah.
When they get to those love scenes, my thing is, are they going to be like, does Jessica do this kind of stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm just like, how does she know about that? How does she know about that? Does she? And I'm just saying that I feel like I'm going to be so honest. I feel like you as my best friend are going to be like, wow.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the thing is that what I will say is, as an author myself, and then as a book coach who's helped other people to publish their own books, that moment of, oh shit, I'm going to publish this and other people are going to read it, I haven't found anybody yet that it doesn't have some reaction to that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's a book on, I mean, we've published books, a children's book, a book on intermittent fasting, a book on spirituality, memoirs, the whole range. It doesn't matter what the content book is. It's the fact of being vulnerable and being seen and being judged in that space. It's really like writing is a part of you. Writing is a part of your soul. It's part of your heart. It's really vulnerable, and it's you're going to have a reaction to that. And yeah, you will, when we get to that point, have a reaction, and that's okay. It's kind of talk. I just, like, with my clients, I talk you off the ledge. It's fine. It's it's a thing.
It's really like, it's really healing and freeing. Like, writing this book has been a very, very cathartic experience for me. It's been like healing something deep inside of me with all of the shit that I've been through, with men and everything. Because genuinely, I'm writing like who I feel like is an ideal man.
Yeah.
Like, he's ideal. And he's not perfect. That's the thing. Like, we're going to see this very clearly. This man is not perfect. It's the accountability, which that shit is like an aphrodisiac for me. Like, somebody can admit that they're not perfect. They make mistakes. It's like, and it doesn't mean that they get away with things or they continue to fuck up, but it's just like, I am accepting of that because I understand. And so that is like me writing him as like the perfect person, the ideal of like, I would really like somebody like this. And then also writing Uni in a way of, I would like to be somebody like this, because I'm not perfect either, and though she isn't perfect, she's growing and she's trying. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's really been like a healing experience. And yeah, it's not just the sex stuff that I'm embarrassed about. It's my mushiness. I'm very romantic. I'm very intense. I love romance. I love to show my partner that they're special and go out of my way. And so there's a lot of the ushy gushy where it's just like, oh God. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited for this. And it's something I didn't think I would ever like do, honestly. And I was like thinking, I had that moment where when I was on the phone with my, one of my friends, I was like, should I have been doing this the whole time? But actually, I think me doing my psychic work and being in the head and the hearts of other people all day long has really helped me be able to understand humans on a deeper level. Like, it's really helped. Like, my whole life has kind of set me up to be able to write about humans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe totally that everything happens as and when it's supposed to. And what you've been through has brought you personally and professionally, has brought you to the space where now is the right time.
Yeah. And I don't know, fiction is so fun.
Oh, so fun. So fun. For those that don't know, like I say, I'm an author too. And I am currently co-writing a novel with another author. So we take it in turns on the chapters, and it's so much fun. It's in a way, I never, like I say, the books I've written are all, apart from one, non-fiction. They're all self-help, they're all spirituality. And there's something very empowering about that, don't get me wrong, but you kind of have to be factual in this thing, and you have to know what you're talking about, right? Whereas with your novel, you can go wherever you want to go, right? It's the world of imagination, it's the world of make-believe, and it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And I'm actually really looking forward to that book that you're writing, because from what I've heard about it, it sounds super interesting. But it is so much fun to write fiction because you get to create a world, you get to create characters, you get to, really play around with things and change things up. And it's just so exciting. And I'm actually really enjoying the process of writing from a man's perspective too, because it's a delicate process. I mean, it's like, honestly, like a woman or a man writing a woman's perspective. If you don't understand women, it's going to be really hard. Like, it's going to be like, okay, that's not how women think, buddy. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I don't know if I necessarily nail a male's perspective either, but from the feedback that you've given me, being able to still keep him masculine and still a little bit objectifying of women, like a little bit, like, like he's not like, you full on like flaming feminist or anything out here. He's definitely a little bit like he's a man. But also he's really deep and sensitive. I think I found that nice balance. I look at Kyle like a male water sign. Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. And you definitely, like I said to you yesterday, you really nailed that. That thing of like, yes, he is a man. He's not a woman with male parts. He's definitely a man and very masculine, but he's also emotionally more open and sensitive and connected than perhaps other women would write a man that way. So I love it. I can't wait to read more. And obviously, we'll keep everybody in the world of YouTube posted. So, we'll just see how this goes, right? But it's exciting. I can't wait for you to get it all done. I know that you're excited too.
Yeah, I mean, the goal was to have it published, by my birthday, which is May. So it's a good 6 months from now. But if I can do it sooner, I would love to do it sooner. I mean, I'd love to have this published like next week. I'm like a mad woman right now. Like I literally stay up to like 11, 12, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning, writing, editing. Like I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. Like when I'm cooking dinner, I have my laptop on the counter, and in between cooking dinner, I'm typing. Like it is a complete obsession. And then this is how my brain works. So I'm like Googling, what does it mean when you can't stop writing something?
See, even in creativity, she has health anxiety.
I'm just like, I don't know why I am the way I am, but I'm just like, is this even healthy? And then so it's a mental disorder, of course. I'm like, this is why you shouldn't Google shit, because it's going to tell you there's something wrong with you always. But I'm just going to look at it like I'm just very passionate about it. And
yeah, absolutely. No, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's awesome. So, last thing, guys, before we close, when I awakened back in 2010, and this is obviously a lot of people go through this, is that you get a lot of signs, right? You get a lot of signs, and people talk about the time you get your white feathers, you get your numbers, and whatever. There's lots of, and I've had lots of signs in my life, but as you're more spiritually mature, as it were, you don't see so many anymore because you don't need to. There isn't the same need for validation and proof, quote unquote, right? So you don't really see them, but and you're fine with that because, I say, you're not seeking to kind of confirm things as much. But occasionally, when need shows itself, we can still ask for signs, as I did this week. So had a meeting at my daughter's school about her neurodiversity, and on the way, I'm walking on my own because they're already at school. And on the way up to school, I said quietly but out loud, like a mad person, I went, Spirit, please show me a sign that I will clearly see and understand that things are going to be okay, right? And let go, because as we know, Jazz, that you then don't go, where's my sign, because, right, fear, you'll push it away. Let it go. Carried on with my day, did the meeting, came home, and there was a small parcel on my mat. So we don't have mailboxes in the UK. That's a very American thing. We have letterboxes, which is obviously in your door, and they push the letters and the things through if they can. Obviously, it's a parcel that won't fit. They have to knock. It's a thing. A small parcel on my mat, and I'm like, what is this? And opened it up, and inside was this. So I'll hold it to the camera. Okay. So it's called Find Your Own Magic, right? So I'm like, what is this? And there's no letter, there's no card, there's no note. So I'm like, okay. And as I got to the third page, there's a note, and it says, to Katie, for the amazing person you are, very much appreciated. Early Christmas gift, love, Elizabeth. And there's a line in the print of the bit of introduction. It says, find your own magic, and she's underlined it with a squiggly line. And I realized, or I felt intuitively, other people may take it different ways, but for me, and that's the thing, a sign should be something that is connected to you, means something to you. And for me personally, what I instantly saw in my clairvoyant brain was the magician card from the tarot. And I was like, that's my answer to the, like, show me a sign. Girl, you're the magician. Stop worrying. You got this. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, no, it's one of those things where it's like, what helps with a powerful sign is when it feels like a coincidence. Because everything that you were going through, for you to receive that book talking about finding your own magic, and that's legitimately what you're trying to do right now.
Yeah.
It's like, that is such a massive coincidence that she couldn't have possibly known you were going through or was going to impact you in that way. Yeah. Like, and then to send that, it's like, that is such a powerful sign. Like, it really is. And, whether or not people believe in signs or not, it's whatever. It's up to each person's individual process. And I do love that you got one and you don't really ask for them that often.
Yeah.
And then you received one, right? And a very powerful one.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a takeaway, I suppose, for anyone watching, is that, if you feel lost, sad, afraid, I always say to people, you've got nothing to lose by trying. And I recommend what I said. Show me a sign that I will easily see and easily understand. It's no good than showing you something and you're going to miss it. But the important thing is to let go. Because if you're then desperately, fearfully searching for one, there's a chance that either you won't come because you're not really in faith, but also you'll miss it. Because if you're like, so say for example, excuse me, say for example, you have asked for a rainbow, because you can ask for specific signs, as we know, Jess. Say you ask for a rainbow and you're waiting for the sky, right? So you're looking up the whole time, but it's sunny as hell, and you're like, well, I'm not going to get my sign. I'm like, because there's no rain in the air. But someone could walk past you with a rainbow on their t-shirt, a song could play on the radio talking about rainbows. Like, you have to be open to how it comes. And if you're looking for it desperately, you could miss it.
Yeah. And I think that also, you know, not receiving a sign is also a sign.
Yeah, which is important too. Which, you know, it's not always nice or fun to have that, but it's also very true.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, don't ask the question if you don't want the answer.
Okay.
If you're asking like, should I leave my job? Give me a sign of a typewriter. Okay. And you wait like 4 days and you don't see anything. Wait 5 days, you don't see anything. Don't go, should I leave my job? Send me a bluebird. You know, and then you go and you don't see a bluebird for the next week. It's like, at some point you have to be like, well, that was the answer. The answer is no, you should not leave that job. I think that sometimes we want the universe to mirror back to us what we want to hear. That's not how it always works. Rejection is protection. We know this. However, in your case, this was a beautiful confirmation. It was a beautiful synchronicity. And I'm just really ecstatic that you got it.
I am. I'm very grateful. I'm going to get back to gratitude. But yeah, I know that back in the day when I first started, I would then go, thank you for that, spirit. Can you send me another one to confirm? Now I just kind of, because it's almost like, you know, that thing where you, and you know this as a child, Jess, where you're like, you pull for yourself and the card comes out and you go, yeah, that's great, but can you just send me another one, please, to confirm? And it's like, it's trusting the message that comes rather than going, okay, that's great, but can you send me 10 more of the same thing?
Yeah, it's like pulling a tarot card and being like, well, how does this person feel? And getting the Two of Cups and being like, okay. But right? But how that had to have been a coincidence, even though that's like the most amazing card to get for that answer, that question. There's so many cards in the damn tarot deck, you know, there's like, so to like get that card, it's about trusting. It's about having faith and also what you feel like you're deserving of. There's like a whole bunch that goes wrapped around that. Maybe we need to do a podcast about signs.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, you and I, at one point, I know we were talking about doing a science book. So maybe, we can definitely talk about that for sure. But anyways, guys, look, we have taken up enough of your time. Just if you found this episode interesting, funny, crazy, whatever, we just hope that you've enjoyed it and got something out of it for sure.
Yeah, and find something, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, find something to be grateful for.
Amen to that, sister. Amen. Well, anyways, guys, we love you. Keep being awesome.